But now we know, so.
Yeah. That was an interesting store too. I always love when like little gas station markets try to like sell fashion, and you're like,
Oh yeah, they had boots, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Interesting. I was looking at the hats, and then they had like the most ridiculous over the top hats. It was like a skull with a money sign, and there was other money signs.
Like you can't even get that on Amazon.
Yeah,
I don't know where he got it from.
Did you see some of the headphones that were right by the cash register?
No.
They literally had like. They were old headphones too, and they had like years of dust on them. Like he just never emptied out his inventory and was like, I'm never gonna sell it. He just kept it on the shelves, and they haven't sold, and they'll never sell. We were at this like gas station market getting beer yesterday, and it was like a bigger kind of mart, I guess, but they had a lot of like shirts and hats, and you said even boots.
Yeah, they had cowboy boots. Like,
but
wow.
By the register, there were headphones, old headphones, and they had like years of dust on them. Like, my God. Yeah, like the type of dust where you run your finger and then there's like still dust. No. It's not even.
Like I had to run it again.
Yeah. So he just like never got rid of inventory, I would assume.
Yeah, that's a little. You're just doing it out of principle. It's fine, dude. Let it go.
Like these will sell.
Let it go.
Yeah, and it was like it said like $4.99 or something on it. Like,
Yeah, you need headphones, you can go there.
Which means like,
if you want some more.
Watch it be like Willy Wonka. It's like if you buy these headphones, he's like, we actually give you a Tesla.
That would be the worst deal ever.
$5 for a Tesla?
For him, it'd be the worst deal ever.
Yeah.
He's like, please don't ever sell. I'm really, when I was looking at myself in the mirror, I remembered something that I wanted to bring up before I think we started the podcast, but I could talk about it on here. I made a mental note to myself whenever I'm like getting this all set up. I'm like, yeah, this is like so exciting. And like when I'm in the zone, I'm going to be like, podcast Haylie. I'm going to be a different Haylie. I was even going to do my makeup every time. I was going to do my makeup, and I was going to have like really vibrant, like well done eyeshadow every single time. And last time, I don't even know if you noticed, I did wear eyeshadow, but like last minute, it was like nude color freaking eyeshadow. And then today I did nothing. I was like, yeah, this isn't happening.
That's a lot of work. It's kind of early, too.
You just got back, right? Like yesterday?
Right. I was like, who is that for? It's for no one. I'm not doing it. It's fine.
You're like, you should just do like one half of the face because this is the half that the camera will see all the time.
Yes, that's what I should have done. Just do half. That would have been a really good idea. That would have been fucking smart.
And then just at the end, you'd look and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but that lasted one episode.
It's a lot of stuff to do to get up, get ready, do all of that in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know how the producer does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, we also don't have a makeup department or anything where you just like show up and you can fall asleep in a chair and you wake up and you're like, wow, look at me.
That would be awesome if my sister could just like come over to my house and do it, because my sister's pretty good at hair and makeup.
I remember seeing that it was like coffee is super healthy for you, even for you to have like an extra like cup in the afternoon, depending obviously if you get like, you drink a 24-ounce coffee in the morning, it's like, okay, you should relax.
Yeah, it's got like a lot of good, because it like gets your digestive system going.
Yeah, your digestive system is supposed to be good for your like heart health and stuff like that, because coffee beans are like very healthy.
Yeah, coffee beans.
But I've been trying to drink like just like because this is a person should drink, I don't know, it was like 24 ounces, I don't know, but basically I was like, I'll try to drink like 20 ounces a day, maybe have like a 12 in the morning, and then just like a smaller coffee in the middle of the day if I'm feeling.
But it has to be dark, right?
Yeah, it says like a lot of the things that'll be really unhealthy about coffee is like all of the sweeteners and stuff that you add to it. They're like, if you really just want to add stuff, you should just do like a pinch of sugar and some milk or something.
I was gonna say, I just add oat milk. It's so good.
Yeah, but so it's like one of the things that they've correlated with like living longer.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Which
very cool.
It kind of makes sense because I also remember reading this thing, and it was about like different places around the world where people live for a very long time, and specifically about like the foods that they eat. And one of the common foods in a lot of places where people lived a lot was they had a lot of like beans. Like they would eat beans a lot because they're really healthy for you. It just kind of depends on how you make them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And see if you like, I get that it's good for the digestive system. It starts that stuff all working. So I assume it does get all of your body working. But if you just asked me, like you don't give me any background and you're like, do you think coffee's good for you, like to help you live longer? Yes or no? I would automatically say no, because in my tiny little pea brain, all I know is that the heart is a muscle, and that if you wear it out, you die. Wearing it out is like doing things on a crazy scale. Like, if I weighed 500 pounds and like that's how much I weighed. Like that is overworking your heart. But in my little pea brain, I'm like, ooh, caffeine makes the heart go faster. Get out more beats. I want to save on to those beats. I want to keep those beats. Keep my heart rate low as beep, beep, beep as possible, which is crazy because exercise is super good for your heart because you need to it's a muscle. You need to work it out. You need to get your heart pumping. But in my mind, I'm always like, but not too pumping because I've only got a finite amount of pumps.
Well, too, I think like we've, been told, like coffee can make you jittery. Coffee can do that. It's like, well, it can usually.
Especially if you don't eat, huh?
That's what I was about to say. I was like, if you don't eat. Then
yeah. Yeah, it will do that to me. It will make me jittery. Yeah. If I drink too much, like if that was a size bigger, I probably would be
bouncing off the walls.
Jittery. I would be jittery. I was a little like when he came home, because keep in mind I live in America, so everything's big here. So
that's true.
He comes with that tiny little drink, and I'm like, is that gonna be enough? And he's like, you haven't had caffeine all week, babe. I really think this will be enough. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not 6. I really just almost died. I was like, I might not make it.
Yeah, I saw her eyes popping out more. They kind of sunk back down.
She got a little bit of her crackers in.
I know, crackers are so good. Crackers heal me.
Was it just saltine crackers?
Yeah.
They just soak up everything.
I keep a box of those, and anytime I'm not feeling good, I'm like, cracker. I could have like a broken arm, and I'd be like, hold on, let's try crackers.
Have you?
I'm hungover. Crackers.
Yes, literally.
Do you know how hard that would be to eat dry mouth?
That's what I'm saying.
Have you tried the saltine cracker challenge?
You're right.
I know it's like super old, but did you ever try that thing? Like when challenge?
I did. No, I did. I did try. I also.
Did you get close?
I did get close.
You got close?
Choked. Yeah. Choked. I know I only survived because my friend was there, and I told her
with the water hose.
I told her, I was like, do not save me. Like, don't Heimlich me. I can do this. And she started Heimliching me, even though I was like, no, I'm fine. I really almost died.
It was like a big ball of
like there was no way it was going to go down my throat. I would have died.
That's so crazy.
I also tried.
What was the challenge? You like a whole package? Is that
it's
what it was?
No, it's
no.
Or is it like 5, right?
Not even a whole package.
6
it's
in a
6,
minute, right?
Yeah,
Because it's like the idea is like, you have 10 seconds to eat each
one.
Okay.
Yeah, with no water.
Which usually, I think
I got through 4, fine, but then the last 2, I started running out of saliva, so I was like, I'll just do both of them. Bad idea.
I think that's what happens too. Is like people are like, I'm running out of saliva, so I'm gonna put more cracker in my mouth. But then it's like a bigger glob of just dry cracker.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. I also tried the cinnamon challenge, which is much the same. You just try to swallow a tablespoon of cinnamon. See if you can do that. I couldn't. I coughed and it came out my nose. It was terrible.
I had a similar thing happen. I coughed and then I had to go like right under the sink faucet because that's where we were.
Right. No, we did it in the kitchen. If you were smart, you did it in the kitchen.
And then, but my friend also did it at the same time, and like he got a little bit of water first, and then I think it came to me, and I kind of hogged it because I kind of thought he was like, I'm good to go, and then he ended up puking.
Fine. He's fine.
But I remember the moment it hits the back of your throat, you just go, and then it's the big.
Yes, and I didn't want it to cough out, but then it does, and you're like, well, now I've lost it. Did you ever do the salt and ice challenge, where you
Doesn't that like burn your hand?
Yeah. You know who didn't fucking tell me that before I did it? My ex-best friend. Hi, Jennifer. If you're out there, don't talk to her anymore. I'm kidding. It's not because of that. But she told me, she was like, back when we were doing challenges, she was like, oh my gosh, let's do the salt and ice challenge. And I said, what is it? She told me what it was. And I said, but what does it do? And she said, it just like makes the ice melt faster and you're supposed to hold on to it until the ice melts. And I was like, but it just makes the ice melt faster? And she said, yeah.
Like, I think ice will melt plenty faster.
And I was like,
If you just hold it.
and I was like, okay. And then, after 4 or 5 seconds, everybody else had already let go. To me, it just felt extremely cold because the pain had not set in yet. They felt the heavy cold and they let go because they knew the burn was coming. I'm just holding on and I'm like, why, guys? It's not that.
You're like, fucking pussies.
I got 2nd-degree burns on the palm of my hand. It was bad. And I was like, oh, this was fun. Thanks, Jennifer. So yeah, but I didn't do the Tide Pod challenge. I never did that shit.
I think we were older.
Yeah, no, thank God. I just did salt and ice and gave myself 2nd-degree burns.
I still want to say, I don't think a young me would have eaten a Tide.
No, I don't think a young me would have either. And I'm so stupid. Like I was the friend that like if you wanted to see something happen, you would dare Haylie because 99.9% of the time I did it. I'm not happy about this. I'm not like proud of it. Don't do this. But I would have friends that would tell me like, hey, I dare you to go slap that guy. And I'd go slap that guy. I didn't know him and I would go slap him. They'd be like, hey, go lick his jacket. I'd go lick his jacket. And I don't think I would have eaten a Tide Pod. I really don't think I would have.
Yeah. Well, I think because, I mean, if you look at, we had the cinnamon challenge, the saltine cracker challenge. At least we were putting food. Or like spices.
Right.
They're literally
Consumables.
like, this is laundry detergent.
Kitchen table challenge. We're going to eat this table right now.
Even then, like, at least it's just like wood.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not laundry detergent with fabric softener.
And bleach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course I did the ice bucket challenge. I feel like that's the one challenge that even if you didn't do challenges, everybody did that one.
Yeah, but that one's, it was the cause and everything was really cool. And it was just,
right.
It's cold. But half the time when people did it, it was like in the summer. So it just felt good.
Right. That one wasn't bad at all.
Like
but that's one that I did.
95 degrees outside. And then you're like, oh my God, the ice. And you're like, thank goodness.
Yes. But that's the last like challenge that I did. And even that one, I remember doing it and I was like 20 or 21. And I remember thinking, man, I'm too old to be doing this. Like people are going to look at this and think I'm so lame. Like I definitely thought that.
That's like, I love seeing like probably like 35 to 40-year-olds on like TikTok, like seriously on TikTok, like doing all the dances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think there's just something about it to me that's like, it's so funny.
Well, like
Because they're too old to be doing it.
Yeah, and I think isn't that the stigma with TikTok?
people,
they're like, oh, it's a young person's.
Man, people even think that about like us.
Yeah.
Even if we made TikToks, they'd be like, God, these people I think are too old. Maybe not Juan. He's got good skin.
That's all right.
Well, that's like, I always end up thinking about like, we're born in the late 1900s. Like that's how kids refer to us now.
What?
If you're in,
they refer to us as the 1900s?
Yeah.
The late 19th.
What
late
fucking
1900s.
assholes?
Well, I mean, think
God
about it.
damn
You're
it.
born in let's say
God damn it.
2015. You're 7 now.
Yeah.
You're in like first, second grade.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, my mom was born in, 1991.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, she's.
Are you kidding me? If Ben and I have kids, they're going to be like, my dad was in the 80s. Like, whoa.
Yeah, or like you'll be like, grandma was
Back
born
to the
in
future.
66.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. We're old.
We're
Well, we're not that old. But
No, we're
to kids,
old.
Yeah, we're like
fucking old.
the late 1900s. Like, it's so like, think about that. It's go back 100 years, 1922. How would we have thought about people who were born in 1896?
The 1800s.
Yeah.
Straight
the
up.
Late 1800s.
I would have been like 1800s.
I was born in the late 1800s, turn of the century. What was their like .com scare? You know what I mean? Y2K.
Ooh,
Do
yeah.
you think
What
there was
the?
one for like the 1900s?
I'm sure it was. I bet there was some sort of religious thing. I bet people maybe thought that
Like cults
they
or
were
something.
they were their leaders were coming. They were coming back because it's like a nice even year, 1900. This is the year they're coming
Yeah,
back.
that makes sense.
Yeah, could be.
I bet.
It's also almost like the end of like, because like by 1900s, we had reached the coasts and been there for a while. So it's like the whole idea
Honestly,
of,
we
like,
probably thought we were done.
American like exploration, and then just being like, this is
it.
We're just going to start at zero again.
We
We're going to turn the clock.
discovered everything. Like, honestly, we probably thought, wow, like we've done it. We've made it.
Yeah, we got morphine. I think we got it.
Yeah. And honestly, now at this turn of the century, everybody's like, the country's garbage. The world is terrible. We're all dying. Like everybody.
Well, when
like,
was the
I'm like,
crack epidemic?
Oh, that was the
the
90s.
80.
I thought it was. I thought it was probably late 80s.
Probably
early
both,
90s.
honestly. 80s, 90s.
The crack epidemic.
I know. Where did that come from?
What do you mean?
Where did that come from?
What do you mean?
We're talking
it's
about the
around
turn of the century. Like the turn of the centuries, and you're like, when was crack?
What was
Well,
right before the
because
turn
you
of the
guys were
century?
talking about like, they thought they were at their peak of
Oh my
life,
gosh.
you
Yeah,
know?
they didn't even have crack yet. I see what you're saying.
And you were saying like,
they had no idea.
life was,
Crack
bad.
crack was coming. I get it.
The next invention.
Because they had heroin in.
Oh yeah, they've had. I mean, a form of heroin like forever. I mean, like
Yeah, that's one of the oldest.
opiates and whatnot.
One of the OGs.
Yeah, people would just smoke heroin. Like they'd literally be like, "Oh, this is the king. You're coming to meet him," and he'd be like, "Let me finish my bowl of
Oh my
heroin
gosh.
real quick."
Speaking of drugs.
And he would just smoke it, and then like, could you imagine like smoking heroin and then being like, "Oh, the Western Front fell."
He has no reaction.
Yeah.
He's so high.
I was going to say, Jesus, I can't imagine that at all. There was a picture or something that made me laugh in New Orleans, and I was like, oh my God, I'm taking a picture of that. But I don't want to misquote it, so that's why I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh yeah, this is when we were taking on the haunted tour. They tell you to take so many pictures. Yeah, this one. I walked by this and I was just like, oh, that's fantastic. We were walking down in New Orleans and we just walked by that and I was like, yep, that's great. And the writing I thought was beautiful. Just as mom's smoking meth again, and I was like,
Rainbow color.
I know.
Like,
And then it was like signed. I was like, man, I really hope there's like two siblings that don't have phones for whatever reason. They're like, fuck phones. We don't want to do it. And they're nomads. They're nomadic people. They travel. They're like, this is where we'll leave messages for each other if we ever need to let the other one know what's going on. So every now and then they walk by this pillar. They're like, hold on, gotta go and make sure everything's cool with my sis. They walk by. They're like, fuck, mom's on meth. Like, I just really hope that that's what it was for. I know that's probably not what it was for, but
Could be. I mean, that could be that little girl's, she's stuck with mom, and the older brother was like, I can't do it anymore. I got to leave. I'm heading out. And then he's like, Mom's smoking meth again. She used her.
oh God, her last rainbow chalk
Yeah.
piece to tell her brother.
It's like, I'm out of chalk. Mom bought meth.
She smoked it, thinking it was meth.
Next time she writes it with like the meth crystal.
Oh gosh. I don't even know if meth is that bad like in New Orleans, but I thought it was great.
I just like assume like if you're in like a bigger city,
In a city, yeah,
there's
you've probably
some kind
got.
of drug problem.
Yeah, there's got to be places like even in Oklahoma City where you get your meth and you get your
Oh yeah.
you get your heroin. I don't know where yet. I'm trying to find it.
Isn't there like 1 million people here? There's got to be a place where you can.
Yeah, let's go on a field trip and find out.
Yeah.
How long does it take us to find
Next episode
drugs?
on the pod. How long? Yeah.
And we're like fucking D and Dennis Reynolds, and we're just like, 1 crack, please. We roll down our window. 1 unit of crack, please. How much is enough?
He's like, just all of that.
200. Oh, that's a good deal. Okay.
Yeah, just slip me the money.
Gosh, I love that show. But yeah.
She's trying to be the Black Adam.
It's a Black Adam. Oh yeah, Black Adam. Black Adam is a. I almost said superhero.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Well, he's like an anti-hero technically.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
like,
I don't read comics, but
he's like a, you know who Shazam is?
Yes.
He's like bad Shazam.
Oh.
Yeah. When you said Black Adam, I instantly, for some reason, was thinking like
atoms,
yeah, ATOM.
like molecules.
I was like, wait,
That's what I was thinking too. And so I was like, whoa, we've discovered a new Black Adam. Like that's what I thought. Speaking of Adam, like ATOM, I don't know if I've already told you this, but the first tattoo I ever got was by a guy named Adam.
ATOM?
He introduced himself. He was like, hey, I'm Adam. And I was like, oh, hi, Adam, I'm Haylie. And he was like, not Adam, Atom, ATOM. And I was like,
you're like, I don't want to get a
You
tattoo.
should tattoo that on yourself. Hello, I'm Adam.
I was like,
He's like, I'm Adam.
okay, cool.
ATOM.
Right? I was like, wow, cool. This guy kind of seems like a dick.
Yeah.
And he was. But I just feel the need to mention every time I bring him up, he's dead now.
How'd you find that out?
My mom told me. She was like, of all people, she was like, hey, do you remember when we got tattooed by that fucking asshole
When we got tattooed by Adam.
at Atomic Lotus? And I was like, yes, I do. Adam.
Wait. His name was Adam.
Yep.
And his tattoo shop was Atomic Lotus.
He worked at Atomic Lotus. Yes, he did. And they are a shit tattoo shop. Don't go there. They're just, I mean, the work they do is fine. They're total dicks. Like, they said no to the first tattoo I wanted. They were like, no, we don't do that. We're not going to do that if it's your first time because you won't be able to sit still for it. And I got that tattoo later on just fine. I've got a whole piece on my side on my ribs that I had to sit for 6 hours for. Like, you don't know me. You don't know what pain I can take. No.
And also, like, I'm just going to give you the money.
I'm going to pay for it either way. So even if it comes out looking like shit, why do you care?
Yeah.
Like, if someone's like, no, I really want this, you should just be like, all right, fine. It's your money. Like,
I hope you can take it.
right. But so he did that. And then my mom was getting a cover up. She was getting a frog covered up. And the frog was a dark green and it was sitting on a sunflower and it was all outlined in black. So it was a really dark tattoo. And my mom told the guy, like, this is a dark tattoo you can see with eyeballs. And he decides to make the very center of it bright yellow. He like covers it up with a flower. He does all of it in dark purple, so you can't really see what's under it, but obviously in the bright yellow, you can see what's under it. So my mom went back, was like, hey, I think it needs to be touched up a little bit because you can see it. And she had to like argue with the guy before he would touch it up for her. And I was like,
this is supposed to be a cover up, and quarter of it's not covered.
Right. And he said when we left the first time, he said, now all of this should be fine and it should be completely covered. But if for some reason it's not, you come back within the first 30 days and yeah, I'll do touch-ups for free because we're paying for a cover up. Yeah. But anyways, she was like, man, you remember that asshole that tattooed us? And I was like, yeah, fucking Adam. And she was like, he's dead. And I was like, did you kill him? And she was like, no, he died in a motorcycle accident. And I was like, was he wearing a helmet? And she said, I don't know, but the accident happened on the highway, so I don't think it matters. And I was like,
I don't know. I didn't see. I just hit him.
That would have been fucking perfect. She was like, I don't know, because I just read about it, but I know the accident was on the highway, so I don't think it mattered. And I was like, well, then he deserved to die, probably, but not really. But yeah, he's dead now. But he was a dick.
Also, I mean, if you're riding a motorcycle without a helmet, and I see that a lot out here, and it's like,
I know, and it makes, I'm like,
especially on the freeway. Like,
yeah,
you're basically,
it always,
at least you're guaranteed, not guaranteed, but you probably have a quicker death than if you got into a bad one wearing a helmet. If that's the type of thought process. It's like I always say, like, if I were to fall from like a certain height, where I'm like, oh man, I might live if I don't. I'm like nose diving head first, hands behind my back, like I'm just like, I want my head to explode, so I'm like dead on impact.
Even though there was no way I would have survived the Twin Towers, I still would have, when I jumped, made sure my head was head first.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'd just be like, nope, there's no way I want to survive this.
Well, I mean, you usually take the stairs. So I think you would have been fine. Just there goes Haylie.
It'd be the one time it would save my life.
Just hustling down the stairs.
Just slapping people left and right. Move.
I do feel bad because I hear people say, or I mean, the guy that I thought was you, that I accosted in the stairwell one time was like, man, you sound like the freaking Terminator on these stairs. I was like, I'm sorry. And then I like touched him. So I'm sure he was like, ah, like he probably thought like,
well, like I couldn't imagine just being
the end of days was coming.
He's just like, man, work day's almost over. I'm kind of tired. I'm just going to kind of mosey it down. He's like, and then all of a sudden you hear,
I like your cut, G. Just slap him. Well, no, because I know a lot of people on our floor, like they complain about the stairs and they're like, I would never take the stairs. And I'm like, why?
Once you're past, I mean, going up past a certain point, I think that it's like take an elevator, but going down, yeah, it's not.
No, but like even then, people are like, I don't want to take the stairs going down. And I'm like, why?
That's interesting. Because I know even, Brian, when he was here, he's more active. He had knee problems. So stairs weren't really friendly to him. But even then, he couldn't take the stairs up because of his knee, but he would always take the stairs down.
You got to get strong somehow,
He would always. And he'd be like, yeah, it's just so easy. Which I guess it is, but...
You do it every day.
I hate stairs either way. Yeah, I do it out of pure fear.
Have you timed yourself how long it takes from?
It takes about 45 seconds.
Dang, fast. It takes me like I think a minute.
But that's if I'm
You're talking about down, right?
No, up.
Going up.
That's pretty good.
It's really fast.
But that's because I run. I run up.
What's wrong with you?
Because that's
Why?
just I can't do anything slow. I feel like even when I walk very fast.
You're like
I struggle
a video game character. You're like, I have to constantly just be sprinting.
Yeah, I just struggle to do things in my mind. I'm like, if I take the stairs slow, I'm gonna have to be doing the stairs for so long. But if I do them quickly, they're done quicker. Like that's what I tell myself. But
if I do them quickly, then I'll just.
Do you take the skip a step where you skip one step?
I can't. My legs are too short. I tried. I can't.
Do that?
Sometimes
I fall.
I end up doing that.
I can do that on some stairs, but not the ones at work. I fall.
I end up doing that a lot, but I'm also like mostly leg. Like I think it was Cass and I, we literally took a tape measure. We took a tape measure from the bottom of my foot where my hip ends, like way up here.
Yeah.
And it was like almost 4 feet of me is leg.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So
and see, I'm pretty sure Ben is the opposite, where he's definitely mostly torso. He's mostly torso. And so it's so funny that our legs, like he's so much taller than me, but our legs are like the same length. It's so funny.
Well, that's like, have you seen that? It's like a video and there's two guys like sitting next to each other and one of them looked significantly taller and it was like, oh, the difference between like a long torso and long legs. And then so like when they stood up, the guy who looked shorter was like a good 6-7 inches taller than the other guy.
Oh, wow.
Because he was mostly legs, like they look kind of like the same size sitting down.
Yeah.
But the other guy obviously looked like a little taller.
I mean, I like to think that if you have a smaller torso, you could be a good boxer. Because then you can just block most of your body.
Yeah.
Blocking your chin and your gut.
For real. Yeah.
It would be interesting to be like, if we could do that with like Floyd Mayweather, just be like, I just want to see where your hip ends. And he's like, what the fuck?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Man, you know those stats have to be out there already.
Well, they have height and weight, but and they have wingspan. That's important. But I don't think in boxing that they really take into account like the size of your legs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because like you're either going to be taller or shorter, and then really the next thing they're just like is how big is your reach?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, obviously they have like all of his stats, but I don't think anyone's ever been like, let me go to the end of the top of your hip bone.
That's interesting.
To the bottom of your heel.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would want to know. I feel like that's an important stat.
Yeah, 2/3 of me is the leg.
And it's not something.
Well, it helps because when you do your like step to the side, like you can do a longer step if you have longer legs.
Oh, yeah. Or like when I
That's the sign.
skip, like I can skip like absurdly far.
You can skip like a motherfucker.
I can. That's what I tell them. I'm like, dude, I can skip like a motherfucker. And they're like, I don't get it. And then they see me skip and they're like, this guy's skipping like a motherfucker, dude.
That's fantastic. Skip like a motherfucker.
Sometimes
I play hopscotch like a motherfucker.
I'll try to grab like Cass's hand. Like we'll just be like somewhere. I'll be like,
oh shit, she can't keep up with
let's
you.
skip to my Lou. And she's like, fucking let go of me. Because I basically just end up doing, because like you're just skipping, you're doing whatever. I basically just end up doing like high knees. So I'm like,
oh shit. Yeah. No, you're just basically Superman jumping in the air.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's not happening. I can imagine poor Cass too being dragged along.
Oh, man.
Oh no, that was it. I just wanted to make sure that I was the haunted, and then nothing happened. What did I do in Memphis? Memphis, I did nothing. Okay.
Well, you drove straight to Florida, right? Because you're gonna drive there and then stop on the way back.
Yeah, we drove to Orange Beach, Alabama first, which is like basically right on the edge of Florida, and then we went to Perdido Key, Florida.
That little piece of Alabama that catches the Gulf.
And they're so proud of it. They're like, the Gulf of Alabama. I'm like, calm down. This is an accident that it even happened.
It's like owning a beach house. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, this was a topographical error on this map, actually. We wanted to extend Florida another 50 miles, but it just didn't happen.
I buy it. I 100% believe that's what happened. But so, yeah, we drove there, and then we went to New Orleans, and then we went to Memphis, and then we came home. And I don't feel like there was anything super... I do feel like this morning I was complaining about something to Ben that I was like, don't worry, I'll talk about it on the pod. Because I was like, really... I was annoyed by it. But I think it might have been... the makeup thing. That's the only thing that's coming to mind, I guess, which wasn't even that annoying, but I guess maybe that was what I wanted to complain about. I was also really excited to talk about Ray Liotta. So
his tribute.
I know, I really do. Oh,
His tribute that ended with, and I found his replacement.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that was dark, but I did find his replacement. I think
He would be happy for you.
I like to think so. I
He's just up
really
there
do.
smiling. He's like, good for you, kid.
Like, I had my fun.
Get your sleazy...
Aw, I really hope that I feel like that's the type of energy he would give me. Ray Liotta was such a wonderful man. Probably. Only because we didn't find anything out about
Well,
him.
if Ray Liotta's listening, he should basically... Oh my goodness, what am I...
Turn off the light right now.
No, I was going to say he should
Oh, you're by the light switch.
like haunt Bill Gates and then be like, I'll only leave if you fuck Haylie.
Oh my gosh. Ray Liotta, if you're listening, I need you to contact Bill Gates. I know that because you're in the rich part of heaven, you have accesses that I don't. And
He
I
has
never
satellite
have.
TV and the internet.
Yes. So I need you.
He's tuning into this podcast.
Yes. Because he's heard his name. He's like, wow, statistically, this podcast has said my name more than...
He's like, my ghost since
even
this.
my own,
They're
even my
talking
own
about me.
movies. That they don't say that my name this many times. Oh, God, I got to figure out what this is.
It's like Warner Brothers didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that would be hella cool if he said something. If he was like,
Possess. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. I was saying he should possess Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Because then you get
But-
yeah.
you could get both of them in one. You're like, it was Ray Liotta's spirit, but Bill Gates' body.
That would probably be perfect.
Like his facial expressions.
Yeah.
And you know, I
Laughing.
other than Bill Gates, because Bill Gates really isn't my type. When you look at my my list of other like gross people that I would have been with, they're all they've got a similar build to Ray Liotta. Like before him, it was Ron White. Oh God.
Ron White?
The one that always drinks and smokes cigars on stage.
Yeah.
The comedian. Yeah. Let him do that smoky laugh. He's dirty. He's gross. But so like, I feel like he has a similar build to Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Both got like, they're older, the very wide smiles. I'm very into that. If you're older and you smile a lot.
She's like, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was sexy.
Dude,
Smile
him
was
in 40 years, I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be looking at him in 40 years. I'm going to be looking.
You literally are just a grandma trapped in a woman's body.
I'm going to be looking.
She's going to be at nursing homes looking for him.
She's like, I'm gonna wear my grandma knit sweater that it's just a little looser on the knitting.
I'm like, can you help me? I lost my buttons.
Ben
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
Ben does think it's funny that anytime I take him to Yukon, because that's where I grew up, and I'll show him around the city, I always point out where all the nursing homes are. He's like, what? why do you know that? And I'm like, well, I just had to, I had to volunteer at a lot of them. So I know where a lot of them are. And he's like, did you?
Like, I'm getting my prospects ready. Once 55 and up comes, I'm out of here.
Well, he was like, did you have to volunteer? And I was like, no, it was definitely like, my mom was like, hey, did you know there's this thing where you can read to the elderly? And I was like, what? And I signed up and I was so here for it. So
And it
yeah,
became a have to volunteer when volunteering is
basically,
by definition, not a have to type of thing.
yeah, basically I was going to read books and make friends. That's what I was doing. And it was great.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I still think
That's
about,
good advice you should give out.
I still think about Ruby. Ruby was so sweet, and I still think about Marlon.
That's what my dad said I should do when we were looking for my first car. He was like, you gotta go volunteer at like an old people's home and then like just start flirting with old women. He's like, one of them has to have a car somewhere that she's not using that's gonna be a lot nicer.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, and it would work. But by the time I was like looking for it, I was like, oh, what the heck?
You know,
I need a car like in a week.
He makes it a joke, but I remember I was too young to understand.
Yeah.
But I remember young men, like even your age now, would be coming to visit at the nursing home, and I'd be like, oh yeah, those are grandchildren, or maybe a really young child, maybe. And then they would come and sit down and just talk with a group of people, and I would full on see like a Trevor person make out, literally with tongue on like Gertrude. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Hazel was like, yeah, no, they're a thing. And I was like, the fuck?
Look, if Gertrude was going to be like, I have this Beamer that I haven't driven in forever and it's stuck in the garage, I can't use it, I would go tongue fuck her in front of everyone in that old folks home.
And this was the nice retirement home in Yukon. It was the nicest, so it was the most expensive.
So they had nicer beds.
Yeah, so I'm getting like a freaking old school Impala or something. She's
like you're getting a nice car.
She's like, my husband died. I'm like, I'll eat you out for the car. Huh?
Right. You're getting like a Model A that's got 2 miles on it.
Oh man,
dude,
that would be sweet,
dude. But yeah, so that actually.
Yeah, I hope you know those
funny.
cars didn't have AC or heat,
Yeah.
so you're not really getting an upgrade.
That is true.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Still get a free car.
I was gonna say, just put a fucking space heater in it. Put a space heater, get a fan. There you go.
One of those fans at baseball games that has the little spray bottle and like,
Yes.
yes, hop back there.
Yeah, also they don't have electronics in those cars either, so you can't just hook up stuff.
No, but I feel like most everybody today listens to their headphones anyways. Like I'll see people driving around with their AirPods.
No, I see them with the speakers, like little Bluetooth speakers.
That's what I did in my.
Yeah. Oh, that's
seen
a
that
good
a lot
idea.
now. Here.
That's a good idea.
I literally had to do it. It's very feasible. Someone stole my car and then stole the radio out of it, and I had.
But return the car?
I mean, just left the car. They didn't return it. It was just at a park.
Darn.
Like, yeah,
I was hoping they'd be like, ha! Just kidding.
Go. They
We
park
felt
it
bad.
back where they took it from. They're like, "Don't worry, we just wanted the stuff in it. We just wanted your notes on accounting." Yeah. So like, I literally had like where the stereo was empty. So I put like a Bose speaker just on my dashboard, and it had the rubber bottom, so it wouldn't slide or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
That's a nice speaker.
I would be bumping music through it and whatnot, and it'd be funny because people would be like in the back of my car and they'd be listening, and then they'd kind of like look up and they'd be like, "Wait, is that the fucking speaker?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." And they're like, "Wow."
They don't even realize it
They're
at
like,
first.
"It's pretty loud," because I mean, they bump kind of hard. Like you
They
put
do.
your feet up, you got a little bit of bass in there. And whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
But yeah, so I used to be riding around in a shitty Honda Accord with a Bose speaker. And I was delivering Chinese food. So if the Bose speaker ran out of battery, I just sat in silence.
Would you even play shit on your phone?
Sometimes I would and whatnot. But the
Yeah.
other thing too, that was kind of like, I guess kind of funny about the car, which sucked. The defrosters would only work if it wasn't actively raining.
What?
If it was really cold and then
They worked.
They worked fine. But if it was raining, the car would fog up even more.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I had to have.
You're a car person. Could you fix that?
Maybe the window seal wasn't on there properly.
This car was a piece of shit.
That's probably.
I love your weird ass talent. He just fucking right here. Probably this. Okay, go ahead.
So I had to, if it was raining, I had to have the AC on or my thing would fog up.
Dang.
So it would be like December and it's raining and I'm delivering Chinese food and I would like get in the car and I'd like put on an extra beanie and
We just lower the windows, drive with the windows down.
yeah, but then I'm getting rained on.
That's
Oh
fine.
yeah, because it's raining.
But plus I have someone's food, so I can't.
Right.
Wet and whatnot.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I was like rocking like for a good like 3 years.
Man, I love something about those like really old crappy cars that like, oh yeah, you got to hold it just this way and turn it just like that, but only you know those things about your car. I like that.
I remember I was trying to like teach my brother how to drive stick, and
Oh, and it was a stick?
it
That's
was a
impressive.
stick, yeah. I was trying to teach him how to drive stick, and I was like, just showing him. I was like, just watch my feet. Watch when I hit the clutch and like stuff like that, and then you'll just go. And I was like, in the beginning, you just kind of want to, push a little bit on the gas until you find it like catches, and then you can go. But don't like, can't let off of one too much.
Look how focused she is.
Yeah, because I don't really know. I'm learning.
So it's basically, I mean, do you understand like the general idea of it?
Like my dad has taken me to a parking lot and I have like with my feet. So like I get what you're saying. It's kind of coming back.
And every car is going to be like a little bit different. Like when I first learned on this car, the clutch was like about to go out. So it was like I had the smallest window to like really catch
Where it catches.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then so by the time I had gotten a new one was when my brother was like, well, fucking show me and whatnot.
Because it is good to know. Mm-hmm. Like in an emergency, I think I could figure it out, but it would take me a minute.
Yeah. And then, so we'd be, I would go and he was understanding it and everything. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, he kept stalling. Like 5 minutes and like he's getting frustrated and like I'm not.
Like on first gear? Is that where we're stalling now?
Yeah, like literally stalling, like just trying to get the car
take off.
Yep. And I'm literally like, you just do this. And I'm like looking at his feet and his feet seem fine. And then like I get in the car and then I go and I do it and it's just fine and everything and stuff like that. And then we get in and whatnot. Well, you know how obviously you don't have like a park, right? So you have to pull the handbrake. Tyler kept forgetting to push the handbrake down. So it was catching on the handbrake, not going, and then it would stall out, and then neither of us.
So he was never moving
for like 10 minutes.
Man.
He's just trying to go and stalling, and I'm like looking at his feet. I'm like, I don't get why you're not getting it. And he's like, I'm fucking getting it. I know I'm doing it right. And then I'm like,
that's so funny.
Because I'm like, okay, you're doing this. And then finally, I was like, all right, let's go just step by step. And I was like, pull the handbrake, and he goes, fuck. I didn't have the handbrake off the whole time.
Oh my god!
So then it was like right after he did it, he like
thing.
went and he was perfectly fine. And
Poor thing. But that's good. But that's awesome. But that's awesome that you freaking figured it out.
Yeah, it was just.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, something.
My friend, she's taken her car in to like get it looked at before, because she's like, hey, my check engine light's on, and I didn't see it, but I don't believe her. She says that she saw the check engine light come on. She's like, hey, something's happening. And then she takes her car to the auto shop to look at it. And as she was pulling in, the car kind of died. And she's like, so see, this is what's happening. This is like, there's something wrong with my car. She couldn't get it to start again. So they hook it up and they start running their diagnostics. And she swears to God that it was the check engine light, but they look at it and they're like, okay, your check engine light isn't on, but we do show that you're out of gas. And she's like, no, I know what my gas icon looks like. I wasn't low on gas. And they're like, okay, you're out of gas now. So maybe. And she was like, well, maybe it showed the wrong light. And they were like, yeah, maybe.
You're also out of gas.
I believe her.
Oh man.
It could be true, but I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to say.
You're like, I believe you. Please just stop saying that you weren't out of gas.
Yeah. I'm like, I believe you if you stop talking about it.